Coming at you from Scratch and Wolf Studio, it's that time again to rage across the internet. It's your very favorite Werewolf the Apocalypse podcast. As always, I'm your host, Porter. To my left, my co-host, a man who recently figured out that you cannot leave your hand in wet concrete, Mr. Daniel Tyson.
Hey, everybody.
It's looking good, by the way. That'll heal soon.
I hope so.
And to my right, a man who recently learned how to work a jackhammer, Mr. Tommy Dixon. How's it going, sir?
Going?
That's the problem. Got it.
How we doing?
Great.
A new skill set I can write on my resume.
Exactly. And Daniel, you've learned a valuable lesson.
Yeah, I can.
Don't trust me with a jackhammer.
Just leave it as is.
You guys can just fill in the blanks on that story all you want. All right.
It's recording day.
Everyone loves recording day.
Oh, we certainly do. We have a good time here.
Oh, absolutely. Every time.
And so, you out there listening, if this is your first time, welcome to Rage Across the Internet. It's the show where we talk about various aspects of Werewolf the Apocalypse, have a little fun, joke around, have a seat with us, and hang out. It'll be good.
Yeah, joke around. I think that's the best part.
Is it the best part?
I think so. I find us entertaining.
It's the best part for him.
It's somebody does at least. I mean, shit. If nothing else.
I like joking around. It's fun hanging out with you guys.
No, I understand. So we're just here to amuse you. I understand.
Dance, my puppets.
I was going to say, I hope others enjoy the laughter and joking too. Thanks a lot, Porter. Appreciate that.
Appreciate you, man.
I bet you do.
So if you like what you're hearing,
Oh, my God.
So far, so good.
you could back us over at our Ko-Fi.
That is some subtle shit.
Subtle.
I don't even... That's crazy.
Right. I killed Danny.
Almost. Twice in a day, apparently.
Oh, yeah, almost, yeah.
Yeah, well,
It happens. Just got a little close to that artery. Too close for comfort.
And on that Ko-Fi, we have, 3 tiers?
Actually, 4.
4, actually.
Actually.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Yes, we do have a Ko-Fi. It's a really weird, indirect way, but fuck it, we're doing it today.
Might as well go with it.
I guess so. Yes, you could find us on Ko-Fi.com, /Rage Across the Internet. It's a great way to support us. There are the 4 tiers, which, there are various rewards. It's great way to show your love. If can't or don't want to do a monetary thing, there's other ways to help.
Plenty of ways to help.
It's true. Share. That's the bottom line. Word of mouth, ratings. Those are great ways to get the word around. And so far, we've done nothing to earn that this show, but at all.
It'll get there.
It was one of the top 10 awkward segues.
I love it. I'm all about the awkward.
Top 10 out of 100. What,
Yeah,
116.
I think this is one. No, this is not 113.
No.
This is.
Make up a number. It'll sound right.
Or we could just hold it until that number comes up.
I'm going to say 117. I'm not 100% sure.
We get a bet. We don't know.
It's 100 and something.
Yeah, 100 and change. We've been doing this for. We're not losing our minds. We've only been doing this for 100 weeks, 100 plus weeks.
110.
Jesus.
It's a weekly show. This is what happens. This is fucking space madness, people.
Danny's got the giggles.
Right? Real talk. We've been locked in a bunker this entire fucking time.
Give me the keys.
All right. I think it's enough. Let's do a show, huh?
I thought that's what we were doing.
Yeah, but let's get past the shilling. I think we've shilled a little bit already.
Do you think we've showed a little bit already?
I think it's enough. I think people are tired of it already.
Then what's on the docket, bud?
All right. Well, backed by popular demand, again and again and again, The Tale of Two Wolves. I'm sorry. The giggles are still here.
What is happening?
Oh, shit. All right.
Losing it.
I feel like I've even picked up the reins of the fucking show and they're already
No,
gone.
it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'll get
reins?
back into it. I promise. What?
I didn't know there was reins.
Believe it or not, I'm supposed to be hosting this motherfucker.
We can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
I didn't even get to do that. You guys are just making sandcastles, and I don't know what that has to do with anything.
Don't surround us by sand?
I'm You know, you try to make a show about werewolves, so you start up a narrative about Danny getting parts of his body caught in wet cement, and like you do,
Yeah,
it makes sense.
sure.
And then look what happened.
It's the world of darkness.
We're talking about,
Tale of Two Wolves. We're telling a story.
and that's what it's all about, really.
Really?
So
See, you did it anyway.
it is
Nicely done.
again a return to the Tale of Two Wolves, which is again, if you're new to the show, it's a segment we've done a few times where Danny will find some story seeds either from our Discord crowd or from the vastness
Yeah,
of the
Of
internet.
the
we'll
Weaver's
call it
Web.
the vastness. Yeah,
And will hit me, and in this case, me and Tom, up with these story seeds, and we're going to see what we can make of it, how we would run the story, or if we would. And usually there's something pretty annoying or pretty funny in there.
yeah, you can say that.
Some Hamlet gets brought up or some crazy shit. We'll find out.
Yeah. Well, we started with the segment, I guess we'll call it, and we did the Tale of Two Wolves because we did it in two different stories, right?
Right, from the perspective of like the rookie storyteller versus a more veteran storyteller, or for those types of groups.
Or even the rookie players who've never played before.
That's what
or
I
if
just said.
Well, you said rookie storyteller. I'm talking about the players as well.
Okay. I said groups.
Okay, fine. We'll go with groups then. But yeah, so two different versions of the same story kind of thing. So we'll see where it goes. So yeah, we have asked for several ideas from our Discord community, and
Said that too.
Well, now you're just picking on them.
the problem is a lot of people send them in and they send me almost like their entire stories. And I love reading them, but it's not easy to put on like for this segment. So a lot of those stories that got sent to me kind of got pushed to the side and waited. So I got to condense them a little bit, talk to some of the ones who did send it to me and like, hey, I condensed it to this. Is this okay if I put it on the show? So a couple of these people are getting credit for the ones, and there's a couple on here who aren't getting credit because I don't remember who sent it to me. I don't have the original names. And I apologize. And then
Call
there's
them
other-
out.
Yeah, if it was yours and we said it online or on air, please tell me. That way I know for sure. And maybe next time I'll say it. Hey, this story was from this person. Whatever the case is, I want to give credit, but if I don't have it here, I apologize. There's also a couple other ones on here where I kind of reworded to make it more valuable for today. We'll call it that. How's that sound?
Okay.
All right.
Let's get to it. What do you say, guys?
Yeah.
I don't want to.
All right. Go home. Go back to your
Go back to my van.
Yeah.
All right.
The van. Jesus Christ.
I know. There's a callback.
All
Yep.
right.
Only 100 episodes ago.
Only?
Probably.
At least.
So, Danny, what do you got for us?
Yeah, first one. The pack encounters a young Ronin cub and stops her from a veil breach. Does that Ronin ask the pack for help? And where do they go from there?
What?
Anything. Does that Ronin know she's a Ronin? Does she know what's going on?
Well, okay. So the story, they put Ronin in there, but this could be like a first changer. This could be really
But it's
anything.
not. But it's his Ronin. So it's not a lost cub. That's a Ronin.
Yeah, that's a Ronin. It doesn't make it a cub at that point. That's an established Garu who lost their way.
Or
Or
fucked
just
up that bad.
or,
I
yeah.
mean, we've been over this. So that's someone who knows what they're doing, and they fucked up with a veil breach, and your pack helps them with it, and then but like we would help them with what?
it's one of the ones I didn't have a name for. I'm trying to condense this so I didn't just give the whole entire story.
I think you condensed too much because we lost something we needed there. Maybe.
Or yeah, like are we hoping are you looking to help the Ronin get back into the good graces of the nation?
Or are you just
all right,
helping out
let's-
by assassinating this Ronin that almost made a veil breach?
All right, let's
I mean, either way you could do that, but
let's change it up a little bit then. Let's take the Ronin out of it.
well, so nothing happened.
No, how about it's just a lost cub after the first change?
Well, I mean, you do your job. You know,
Yeah,
You
Get him to accept.
exactly.
Or, I mean, you could raise him yourself if you wanted, but good luck.
Oh,
You
God.
have things to do.
Could you imagine that game?
Oh, it's almost like something that was ran.
Oh,
Go back to our December episodes. Could you imagine, man? Just having to pick up cubs and you can't get them to accept and you have to raise them.
no, but like, is the game being on the other side of that game? You know, it's like 3 men and a baby at that point.
Is that going to be the title of the game?
It might as well be.
There's your Chronicle title. All right, we got that narrowed down.
Sweet.
3 Men and a Baby. Well, if you leave the Ronin part in it, what if it's that? Oh no, that's not how that works. That child.
Oh, you're thinking the perfect menace?
Yeah, the perfect menace.
I don't know. It's not perfect menace. Come on.
I'm just throwing it out there, man.
I mean-
I'm reaching at straws for this seed right now.
Yeah, it seems like I don't know. Like you go to clean up the veil breach, and there's a Ronin there, and either
Well, he said they stopped the veil breach,
right, okay.
so it's not clean up. It's they stopped him from a veil breach.
But then, like, how does that work?
That's where I'm
Like,
curious.
Like, are you going to like you're going to Chili's? You want some baby back ribs, and like while you're going there, like you're in the parking lot, you happen to see
A lupus.
right like starting to change slowly, like in the movies where it's taking like 20 minutes because he had a shitty roll, and you're like, oh, don't do that, sir. And he's like, all right,
Ruh-roh.
veil breach averted. I mean,
In the parking lot of Chili's. Well, now I
Yeah.
can picture this.
Chili's got to have the realism.
Right.
Barbecue sauce.
Just hide behind that van. Get in my van.
All right, so maybe not the best one to start off with. I apologize.
Oh,
but
maybe it is. Maybe it's.
get it out of the way. Is what you're saying.
We
All right.
tiptoed around it, but there's not much there to make a story. If it's not a Ronin, then it's someone dealing with their first change.
Mhm.
and
You
then
know what you
take-
got to do.
Yeah, you take him to the set at the end.
If it is a Ronin,
Then
that's something bigger, and that's not. There's something going on there because they would know better than to do a veil breach,
well, and then it's like it's what and why.
right?
You know, like
Are they
why-
just trying to end their lives because they can't take what they did?
Possibly.
Something. I mean,
Yeah, or like, was it a frenzy scenario? But even then,
are they losing their mind, and that's why they asked that pack for help? I mean, I could see that.
and like I'm not sure the relevance of the Ronin at that point.
Right.
And then like you can't
It's just Ronin's throwing us off so much in that.
probably
Yeah, it makes
because it's like, oh, the Ronin needs help with what? What's the help? What do you need help with? What is your shoe untied? Do you need change for the bus? What's happening here? What do you mean help?
all right. So there's not much to go on that one. I apologize.
More meat next time.
All right. Then the next one would be an elder is tasked the pact with protecting a friend and escorting him to one of their trusted allies. But the elder failed to mention that friend has or is about to fall to Hirano.
So the elder's hiding. This person's about to flip their switch. Where are we taking them? That's a story. I mean, that's the
That's
story.
already the story.
That's the meat of the story right there. There's not much to question or take that. It's you listen to your elder. Obviously, you wouldn't know about the Hirano situation.
I think
So
that's the point of it.
you're listening to your elder, and if this guy flips his switch on the way there, well, then you got something else to deal with.
Means she's gonna keel over and die.
It's true.
No, but what do you do about it?
Nothing. What you're told. you escort the elder's buddy, or you take the elder's buddy to an escort. Maybe both.
Ooh.
You know, and like that's the whole story. So I think here, I mean, that scenario presented, that's already a story.
Mhm.
So let's take that and do something more with it. You know, the idea you're dealing with Hirano, that's all well and good, but that I almost want to take that off the table.
That's exactly where I was going. I'm pulling Hirano from that.
Right. Just remove Hirano's not necessary. What's the point?
That's fair.
That just that means that elder's going to be a downer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're traveling with someone boring and you don't care about already. Pass. We're ripping off that Hirano band-aid. That's stupid.
Okay. So it's just the elders trusting that pack.
To
So-
escort this special person, and
Yeah.
let's label the special person as something else.
Right. Maybe it's a favored kinfolk or maybe a problem kinfolk. Here's something. Okay. Let's make this worth doing.
That's fair. No, I'm
So what if this person that's being escorted isn't the buddy of an elder or a mentor's cousin's friend or whatever, but it's like you're going to location A, all right,
Mhm.
to find kinfolk B, who is like one of these fucking nightmare kids. You know, like the assholes that go in like those juvenile
Oh,
scared
no,
straight programs.
Yeah.
You know, those one of those kids. But the problem is it's like the only living relative of an elder or of someone important of consequence.
yeah.
You know, maybe a mentor died last chronicle, right? And you know, hey, this is the last of that bloodline, and it's a shitty idiot kid kinfolk, and we've got to get them to this sept over here. But no, you can't take the kid through a moon bridge because it's a kid. First of all, it's a kinfolk. You're not taking them inside a cairn, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they don't know they're in the nation. So you have to basically kidnap this kid and then do a road trip.
Yikes.
Put a little more flavor on that.
What you got?
Throw a skin dancer situation into this.
How? Like, what are we adding?
So that special, and it's kinfolk that the elder trusts, but that kinfolk's actually a skin dancer looking for his last pelt.
So he's not a skin dancer yet, but he's
not yet.
Trying
he's
to
looking
be.
for his last pelt, and one of your pack mates is a target, and he's worked his way in to have this situation where he needs escorted, but it's just what he played out because the elder knows him and is trustworthy to that kinfolk, and he's already targeted one of your pack mates as the last pelt he needs.
You could do that. I think my concern with doing that becomes that if you frame that right, you're sacrificing a player.
Yeah, I didn't think about it that way.
Because, right, you're trusting this guy, right? And you're doing this road trip thing. So you stop at the Holiday Inn for the night, and you're Garu, so you're probably not made of money. So you're probably sharing a room, right?
Mhm.
Folks in Lupus curled up sleeping. Kinfolk's got the bed here, maybe, or the couch or whatever, but now everyone's sleeping. He wakes up in the middle of the night, puts a fucking knife through somebody's throat, possibly everyone's throat. What do you do?
Don't write it that way.
That's
that's worst case scenario, but
right.
yeah, but if it's framed in a certain way, how else would that play?
you could play it out so it's not framed that way. Obviously, you're the storyteller. I was just kind of throwing that little seed out there.
No, I hear what you're saying. I'm just saying if you take that the most logical way, you horses, hoofbeats think horses. Although you could, and this is shitty. Is like you do that right, and you escort them, and you have that guy later end up being a skin dancer, and so like you were responsible for taking them to the sept that they live in, where they murder a bunch of people.
Ooh, or you could go
That
that
make
way
you feel
with
good.
it. Yeah, you can go that way with
But
it.
that's the long con at that point.
Yeah,
I like the idea.
like you did a thing, and then there's them repercussions coming back 5 chapters later.
Right. But I like the idea of the kid, and maybe you put those together, right? Is where it's the kid, and then so a couple chapters later, or a couple chronicles later, so he's a little bit older.
Mm-hmm.
So like you've known this kid when you were this high, and
Yeah.
I brought you to our people, and
you got a little bit of a history now.
I like the escort situation though, because you could take that multiple ways. Instead of it being kinfolk, you could go with like this is the last Farah or something, of like a last Gurhal that's actually coming to help out the Garu.
it could be something like that. I mean, then you have to answer the questions like, well, why does the Gurhal need an escort?
Because he's being hunted by something. I don't know.
No, I mean that's fair, but
Right, you
that's
gotta
the point,
answer
is if
those
you're doing it,
questions.
you're going to have the answer to those questions. Like we
But
don't have them
obviously
because
the
we're-
elder would give answers because the elder's tasking you with this, so there would be answers. Just throwing little story seeds out there.
No,
And this is what we're here for.
yes, it is the point.
It is the point.
Danny?
I'm kind of just thinking of what you guys are saying and seeing if I can like bounce any farther off here. But again, it's one of those ones where it's like, thanks for the story, but like that's the story.
You got to escort this guy to the Valkenburg Foundation.
Fuck you.
It's a story seed.
Right? That was
No, you're
That
right.
was not a dig at you. It's
that was
just
both
using
musical
it.
and violent.
Hey,
It was not a dig. It literally wasn't. It was
Right?
just that's part of the werewolf game, bud. Just because
I
you have a
took- no.
thing with it,
no, I know that's why I said it. It's still funny. But no, that's not a bad one either.
and he's losing his mind as you're taking him there. Like
Right.
it becomes a hot situation.
That could be a problem, and maybe it's a problem before you get there.
Oh yeah,
Oof.
Yeah. Maybe it's a prize. Again, we go with I think you deal with in terms of kinfolk, someone who's related to someone important
mm-hmm.
that isn't around anymore. It's like the last. You look at your guys like it would be like Waya's only living relative
Mm-hmm.
was a 19-year-old kid who is now or is on his way to prison for like vehicular homicide.
Oh.
Escort situation. Get him out of there. Yeah.
Right. And now you got the law on you.
Mm-hmm.
So there's your complication.
I can see it going down. I can see it ending bad too.
It's like you can't let
Yeah, you can't
the
let him
last relative, the only link to the bloodline of this, elder rot in jail. It kind of doesn't matter.
Yeah, that person's a shitty person, but like you can't just let them go.
Right. And that's why I say something like vehicular homicide, like maybe it was like a drunk driving situation or like a car. not like
he did
murdered
it.
6
Yeah,
kids.
not actual homicide, triple homicide or something.
Right, yeah, not like, oh, this guy molested 5 children. Go save him from jail. Because
no, he can go rot at that point.
He's got silver fang blood, so it's safe. No, not like, yeah. So you want it to be something that isn't blatantly...
At the same time, redeemable.
Yeah, redeemable is what you want, yeah.
Yeah, I can say it that way.
Something like, it was an accident. It's terrible, but fuck,
Got to do what you got to do.
Right, he wasn't doing it on purpose. Or maybe he was, and it was a con man situation.
Oh.
Ooh.
But, you got to keep it, again, a crime that you can... No, well, a crime that... You can come back from.
It's not something that person is now twisted for life. It is going to kill anything it sees.
Right. Writing a couple bad checks isn't the same thing as murdering 12 people.
And wanting to murder more.
Right.
Your pack is next.
Speaking of next.
Okay, next. Pack is on a mission to banish a Bane. Except the Bane has some protectors. Friends of the pack and fellow setmates are the ones guarding the Bane from getting hurt. Is the friends of the pack actually corrupt, or is it really a Bane at all?
Well, you just told us it was a Bane.
But maybe you don't smell any worm taint, especially on your friends.
I see where they were going with it, and then they twisted it at the end there. They didn't really need to.
Yeah.
But, so you can look at this both ways. It's not a Bane. It's something else. We don't know what it is. Obviously, the story goes on. You would find out what it is. I don't know what, because I'm not that versed in the Umbra yet.
Maybe it's more of a Gorgon, and they just
so I think
mistaked it for a Bane.
the thing is that's holding me up here is that like you specifically said Bane, and I know you didn't write this, so like it's not your like I'm looking at you like you did this to me, but you didn't.
That's what I'm saying. Pull Bane off of that.
Well, right, and I think to clean that up immediately, it's you're tasked with there's something wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's something going on, and rumors of a sept being possessed by a Bane or a spirit that's maybe not a Bane, a spirit of some sort that's maybe brainwashing some Garu. You go down to investigate, and an ally is there, chief among them. And I think that's the better way to do it because
I can see it that way.
Because like you go home to your home sept, and everyone's like, oh no, here's a spirit we're all into. Like it just like how did this happen under my nose suddenly? How did no one notice it? It's weird that Enron just built a fucking studio.
And a studio apartment over there.
Yeah, they built this whole thing. They carved through the rock to build a road.
Oh,
they
that's
made
how
a
it
tunnel
works.
through the mountains, and no one noticed.
Magic.
Right? Like you would have thought any of those tools or the work crews would have attracted attention, but it didn't, and it's crazy.
Yeah,
dial that back some. So Bane, quote unquote, whatever it is, spirit, is manipulating the elders of that sept, and the elders are giving the orders to your friends to protect. They still don't know. They just think they're protecting the sept. The spirit/Bane is happening to be there, being protected by them because it's corrupt the higher ups, but not your friends.
See, I want to look at that a little different too, though. We all know the idea of like the elders have lost their shit, or senility or corruption, whatever. But the idea of there's something rotten at the top, and you got your buddies who know about it. What if instead we again it's a different location, right? So it's not home. Keep it out of home. Period. Immediately,
because you'll see right through it.
Well, unless you've been gone
for like a year.
2 chronicles, yeah. This isn't going to sneak in subtly at your own home again. Like I'm making fun of the Enron thing in Earthblood. It doesn't just happen overnight and no one notices.
Gets dropped in by a giant
helicopter. Yeah, that fucking building. It took them a year to build that fucking place, and no one bothered. So forget home, because it's a little absurd to think that something like that's going to creep in at home, no red flags. But if it were a friendly sept, if it were Salome or Central Park or the riverfront down in New Orleans, right? And you go down there to visit, or you hear rumors of something, and maybe leave it out of a friendly location. It's another sept you've never heard of, right? The Sept of the Overhear. Okay.
I love the name. I really do.
You travel to the Sept of the Overhear because you've heard rumors that,
over here
there's something. Yeah, you've heard rumors over there that something's wrong. That there's some kind of sort of spirit thing, and it's a little nebulous, but it feels a little culty, and that's coming from the Garu. So
wow,
right.
That's already a big red flag.
Right? And you get there and everyone's like, commune with Zorp. Absorb, join with Zorp. Zorp is great. Yay. And you're like, who are these fucking crazy people, right? This whole sept is drinking the Kool-Aid. And it brings me back to the Ghost Raptors a little bit.
Okay.
Where they're, I forget the name of the fucking, the spirit that's the spirit of the rainforest. I forget her name right now. But remember, they all kind of worship that one. There were rumors that maybe it was kind of a bane, but maybe they just didn't understand it or whatever. So like, kind of like that. Like they're all about this one particular spirit and they seem nuts. But, isn't that Killerwatt? Well, Killerwatt's not nuts.
Yeah, but how are you tying in this friendly pack? Because I see where you're going, but I'm wondering how you're going to tie in this.
There's Dooley.
Oh, boy.
There's Dox and Dooley. What the fuck are the Calm doing here with these crazy? Maybe they're not crazy. They can't be crazy because you trust Dox and Dooley. That's a mistake already. But you trust Dox and Dooley.
That's kind of how I was seeing it too. It's somebody you trust, but there's something wrong here. So how could they be a problem here? Maybe it's not a problem.
This is turning good because that is a good mental fuck. Like your closest friends, are on the wrong side. You think
right? They've had some of this Kool-Aid, and
they're drinking stronger than the Garu Kool-Aid right now.
Yeah,
and they're looking to get Garu'd.
Right? They're like,
but
they're like, hey, no, this is cool. This is great. This is fine.
Well, that turns into a couple chapters of investigating.
Exactly, and then maybe you find out that
and you get too close and
not fine. That should be the story.
You get into it, and you might touch that Kool-Aid too, and
right.
Unless, I don't know, can they convince you otherwise? Like, maybe it's not a problem. Maybe there were...
It has to be a problem. Otherwise, there's no story there.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, the story becomes, you were wrong, and here's extra cult. Fuck a guy. We want to be this extra cult.
It's Garu Plus.
Right. There you go. So, no, it's got to be a bad thing ultimately.
And you just, pull Bane from that. Make it spirit.
Yep.
Because Bane, we already know, bad juju.
And then at that point, maybe it's an ancient spirit, perhaps even Gaian in nature, but has lost its goddamn mind, but has recently been resurrected or recently been freed. From wherever it was bound because it had lost its goddamn mind. And
or so because the weakening of like the wild or anything, its restraints aren't as strong as it was.
But the idea, is like maybe the spirit is taking that initial doctrine to a new level to where it's no longer helpful. And it is just
I'm no longer being controlled by one of these triads because they're not as strong as they used to be. So I'm just going to do my own damn thing. Right.
And like its own damn thing, again, like these things tend to go, might seem innocuous at first while you're first getting your toes wet. And then all of a sudden you're fucking hit deep in it. And
over there's got a problem.
Yeah, this is terrible. And I'm in too deep to do anything about it.
Oof. Drink the Kool-Aid.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid. That's
or don't drink.
That's Chronicle over, and
right,
you're eventually going to get slaughtered.
All right, then the next one. This one's from the Drake. Pack returns from a hunt to find the cairn empty. No sign of a struggle or a battle. Everyone's just gone. Personal items and weaponry are largely left behind, and signs of normal life are still all around. What happened?
This is a good one. Thanks, Drake. This is a good one.
Yeah, you can go many directions.
Yeah, we can make stories out of this one. The story isn't there. I love it. Thank you. This is how it's done, everybody. Right there. That's the kind of thing we're looking for. Exactly. Surprise party. Obviously.
Way to kill him. But that is a perfect answer.
Thank you. No, it's Crook Paw's, 30th birthday, and it's a surprise party. Obviously.
You just didn't look behind the hut over there where the balloons are.
Right, there's a party clown, for fuck's sake. Come on.
Oh, you see a party clown pop out of the Umbra?
Better yet, he's just standing in the barn. Or not even the barn, at the heart of the cairn.
Just standing
in the middle of the assembly area.
Just standing there twiddling a knife.
Holding balloons.
Not a knife. If that's, I'm frenzied.
Well, now
regardless.
It's like it. Now it sounds like it a little bit. Okay, stop with the creepy faces. I wish you guys could see this.
Oh, God, I'm frenzying. I will frenzy. I don't care if it's a knife or balloon animals in his hands. I'm fucking frenzying.
What if it's a balloon knife?
Fuck clowns.
That's funny. No, it's a balloon clave.
There you go. We should probably do this for real, huh?
Yeah, no, but I like that. I mean,
Yeah,
that,
it was-
that can be an answer.
That can be an answer.
That's,
It's just what was in my
that's
heart.
just the silliest of answers, but
Yeah.
that can be an answer.
Because obviously it's a surprise party.
Umbral quests that went wrong.
Everybody?
It pulled everybody from the cairn in. Something happened.
Like a right that was fucked
a
up.
right that went wrong. That's what. Sorry, that's what I meant by Umbral. Sorry, right. A right that went wrong that pulled everybody past the penumbra. They went to the deep umbra.
Hey, Tom.
Thank you.
Hey, Tom. 2 wrongs don't make it right.
Shut up. But I can see that happening.
No, that could be. That could be a good one. I like the sudden disappearance thing. There's a level of eeriness to that.
Oh yeah, especially like the fire's still going. Yeah, just
You know, like it's possible maybe as you're inspecting the grounds, you see like a magician's hat.
You gonna pull mage into this?
I mean, not really.
Hey, but you could. They do feed off cairns,
That's right. And, you know, they pull things out of hats,
right?
which is why, you know, that's what happened is he pulled them into the hat.
And you look over towards the tree line and you see a lepic.
There's the Lepics there,
Yeah.
running away from the hat.
All right,
It's
let's-
amazing. It's
seriously.
amazing that we spent the first half of this going, well, this is already a story here. What are we supposed to do? And then we get one that's exactly what we're looking for. And we won't take it seriously.
I tried to, and now you're just going with a magician's hat.
I'm just having fun.
I get
I'm
it.
riffing. No, because I think yours is a great angle. Because yeah, what does that? And obviously from there, this isn't a one-off.
No,
This is a small arc. to
this could
find
be a
out.
couple chronicle kind of thing.
It could be. It could be. You could do a whole chronicle.
I mean,
where is my sept?
Right.
What the fuck happened? Because I could see the moving parts of that like immediately. If there's no evidence of them, I mean, we just the logistics of all this, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the first thing you do? You need coverage for this cairn.
right.
So step one is okay. One of us stays here
Yeah.
alone to guard this entire cairn.
Well,
we
there's
try and
get
do backup?
reinforcements.
Right. Why we go to people we can trust to guard
Not
this thing
leak
and
this
not
information
take it.
that it's not. Yeah, it's not being guarded right now.
Right. And then it's investigate.
Oh yeah. You guarding is number one.
Because this wouldn't be like a raiding party or anything where it just everybody up and left like that.
Not if they left all their shit.
No, this place would be burning
Yeah.
down.
I think him throwing in that like all their stuff is still largely there, like even the weapons and stuff.
It honestly makes it interesting.
Yeah. I think that's a huge part of it.
and it definitely brings spiritual into this for sure. Has to be.
It absolutely can.
Oh, I almost think of, and not the tribe, but like the actual place of Croatan.
You mean Roanoke?
Yes, thank you. Roanoke, yes. I don't know if you knew this is a real thing.
Oh, elaborate, please.
Well, no, history, like people went to the area of like a large settlement and like everyone's gone. There's no trace of anybody there. And the only thing left, any kind of evidence, was the word Croatan carved on like a tree.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, that's part of history.
Sort of.
It's obviously very
Bare bones
super
of it,
cliff
but yeah.
notes.
Well, yeah, it's been obviously
Mhm.
the truth on that has been stretched.
Oh, I'm
a lot.
sure.
That's
Over
what
the-
happens with stuff in history.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
It is.
that's the Cliff's Notes version that everyone knows.
hmm
I think is the best way to put that.
it's close enough. Yeah,
But it's like no, they didn't disappear without a trace. They told them that's what it was. We're going with it. It's fine.
I mean, it's an interesting story.
No,
it's
it is,
really
and that's
cool.
why that story has been perpetuated over the generations.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like it's a fun mystery. Like, you know, you go to the Bermuda Triangle and they eat your soul. No, they don't. It's not. Everyone, no, that's not how that goes.
How about something's going on with the totem? The gauntlet has gotten so thin, people are bouncing in between realm and Umbra without even knowing. Everyone just happens to be in the Umbra. But that still leads the story season. Something's going on with the totem / or in the Umbra that's causing this.
Well, I think the problem with that becomes then if they're in the Umbra,
Just go in the Umbra and find them.
yes, or just come out of the Umbra. Dave, just step sideways.
They can't. Said something's wrong.
What if let's add to that? What if it's a trap, a fetish that has been tinkered with? Like the first thing from my mind is some sort of dream catcher, right? That has been, for lack of a better term, touched by like the Weaver or something, or even the Worm in a way. to where when you go to cross the gauntlet, you are trapped in it
Ooh.
by design of this fetish.
That would suck. Not only that, but you don't even know it.
Right. Like, I'm not sure where to take that, but that's the first thing that comes to mind. I think maybe a secondary thing would be like kind of like a Pied Piper situation. And again, maybe we lean toward like fetish is a simple answer. So maybe older spirits or something like that, but to the effect that there is literally a Pied Piper situation where whatever that caused this, and that's your MacGuffin to figure out at that point, because it's less the point, has caused these Garou to stand up, like in a trance and follow this person or this spirit or this fetish.
Don't say one up it. Don't call it a fetish. It's a Bane tender was there, and they had the Bane was breaking loose from
Possesses the tender.
and then
through the Bane tender, hypnotizes his entire sept to
And
go to
pulls them.
location X
Mhm.
for conversion or
Quote,
sacrifice.
quote unquote
I was just
conversion or
thinking
sacrifice. There you
sacrifice.
go.
Yeah, either way.
There you go. See, compounding.
It's
This is good.
two wolves and we're making a thing. See, it still works.
Tale of two wolves.
Nicely done. I want to keep bouncing off that one and go to the next one.
I think.
There's 2 or 3 we already threw out there on that one. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, let's move
Yeah.
on.
I'm sure we have more.
Moon bridges have been falling lately. Loons acting strange, confused, and almost drunk. They lash out at anything that comes too close. You're also even starting to hear that gifts relating to Luna have been failing. What do you investigate? And that one's from Labyrinth the Metalsmith.
Is there an eclipse happening? Something weakening Luna?
That's what I was thinking. Something along those lines.
I know you want to go somewhere funny with this. Does that work though? Like an eclipse? I haven't researched enough on Luna to really know if an eclipse weakens her or would make the loons act different.
Well, it would. I mean, an eclipse that's not going to last very long.
Fair.
It would. I mean, I'd make the argument that the loons would probably fuck off in the Umbra for the whole length of that eclipse. The same like during a new moon is where the moon paths are pretty much fucking gone.
Mm-hmm.
So I would treat it the same way. But yeah, this isn't that.
This sounds like a Luna is sick story.
It does sound like a Luna is sick story. That's so vast in scale.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bigger problem than just Garou.
If Luna's sick, like I'm looking at like a Majora's Mask scenario here. And
What else is happening in the cosmos at this time?
Right. I want to step that back.
That is becoming very big, very fast.
Right.
That's what she said.
No, see, I wasn't going to say it.
No,
He was
but
trying
you're
to
sitting
move
there
back to
smiling so big that it has to be said.
I didn't want to say it. I just wanted it to sit there and everyone would just know.
That's okay. That's
couldn't
also
help
what
it.
she said.
I
There you
couldn't.
go.
I couldn't.
Oh my God. This is our energy today.
It's fine.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that would be too large. That would also have to be, or maybe the Weaver's doing something to mess with Luna's connection. The webs are getting tighter or something. I don't know. The webs are getting dense and it's messing with Luna's connection.
I think the other way around. It's not the Weaver. It's the Wild. I think maybe, and I want it to be, I think it should be a localized thing.
Mm-hmm. It would have to be because
You know-
you would get too grand if it's not.
Right. And I mean, how localized that can fluctuate. But what if there is like there's an abscess somewhere that is reaching, it's kind of going the wrong way. Instead of breaching the gauntlet, right, and hitting the realm, it's going deeper into the Umbra and tapping into something lost or some pocket realm that once upon a time was and now it got lost to the ether or whatever.
All
I can
entrances
start-
to that realm
yeah.
have been closed. Yeah,
Right.
something
and,
like that.
And then, some freak occurrence, wild based, because you're not expecting the wild.
Well, it's random
and-
chaos, so it would work.
Right. And it shouldn't be something malicious, I don't think, so much as something that happened.
I was gonna say maybe not malicious, just happening just because
Right.
bad consequences.
Right. Because if it came from the worm or the Weaver, it's likely a plot
Mhm.
and not a consequence of random happenstance. And I think that being a consequence of random happenstance is the thing that makes it difficult to figure out.
And more interesting.
Possibly, yes. Because now what do you do with this? You've got this fucking pocket realm leaking wild energies that the loons are maybe getting drunk off, quote unquote.
I can see it. And
You know,
maybe
it's
you do.
making them act erratic.
I can
which
see
would
it.
make moon bridges crash. And yes,
So yeah, maybe you start to investigate and you go farther out, and it's not a problem over there. It's only a problem within your cairn.
Well, the closer you get to the zero
The
point,
whatever problem.
right,
when that leaves fun for developing whatever that pocket realm is.
right. And I think maybe it should be, or I would make it. I don't say should, whatever you need it to be. But I would probably make it some sort of product, cast off leave and whatever you want to call it from the flux.
Mm-hmm. It would have to be
No, I think so. Yeah.
for it to be as logical, somewhat, considering it's already illogical to begin with.
Right.
That's not too bad. I liked where it headed. It was pretty good.
It's a tough one though, because like I said, if it's actually involving Luna,
Mm-hmm.
that's
Yeah.
a large problem.
Yeah. And
That's 10 Chronicles worth of a problem.
maybe not that, but it could be for like multi-chronicle for sure. And
Because what's affecting Luna could be affecting anything else in the cosmos. And
And
there's
the
a
lar-
lot of things out there.
yeah, the larger reaching implication. I mean, for fuck's sake, at that point, you could go.
Rorg doesn't like what he sees, and he's hurling stuff at it.
But I mean, that's probably the scale of solution. And
Right.
you don't want to go there. But I mean, if you do that, if like Luna being quote sick, I mean, you go so far as to say, well, maybe it's we talk a little crossover type of shit. There's something from the deep Umbra, something like say the Nightmare Gods or something have closed in on Luna and started corrupting her. But then how do you deal with that?
How do you
What
deal with that?
Exactly.
Oof.
Yeah,
I don't love the implication of that because of the scale.
I get it.
That's
too
more than a
much
pack
scale.
or two can handle. That's
Right.
for sure.
But that's what you do with it if you're going that route with Luna.
All right. Then another one from Labyrinth the Metalsmith. While traveling to their next adventure, the pack hears a popular song on the radio. The lyrics are all too familiar with words like being wild or savage.
I get knocked down.
I don't think
But I'll get
quite
up
just that. Words like wild or savage, pack hunt, or even having animal soul.
I get knocked wild.
There's too many specifics in the song to be ignored, and there's a tour with a stop not too far away from the local cairn.
Okay, well, the short version, and I don't want to say the dumb version, but totally the dumb version.
The pack's a bunch of rock stars, and they're just throwing Garu terminology in 2 songs.
Well, like a Spooky Tooth scenario, yeah, where it's a band of Garu, and
It's a band
They're
of-
Weird Alling it, kind of.
yeah, they're like, hey, we're gonna show up and have a fun time at the concert, and then go backstage to meet these Garu, and look at the fun time we had. And look at the waste of time as a storyteller
But what
I
if
have
it's
put you through.
not a waste of time? They're doing this to enact a rite, and they need that many spiritually awakened people in one area.
What kind of right?
I don't know yet. I'm
Okay.
just throwing this out here. I'm trying
No.
to build on that.
No. Like I'm going to go other places too, and there are good places to take this, but there's the dumb way, right there. The dumb way is, hey, we all had a good time at the fun concert
What if they're spirals?
because, well, that's
Well, I was gonna say, what if they're not Garu, but maybe they'd still be Garu if they're spirals. But maybe what if they're kinfolk? They just know too much, and now they're saying it out loud.
well, if you're putting it in song lyrics, there's a level of is this a problem or not? And like shit, guys, give me. I'm going to unpack all of these.
Start unpacking.
I will. Stop bringing more luggage until I unpack this one.
Okay,
All right?
fine. Sorry, I'm excited. I'm building on this one.
No,
Rock
no.
stars.
Yeah, because number one, the dumbest version is the Spooky Tooth scenario.
Mhm.
Hey, it's a band of Garu. We're gonna hang out, and okay, it was nice meeting you. Bye. This is a boring story. It's the flattest, dumb one-off version of it.
It's the calm becoming a band.
Don't do it. Don't do that.
Or not even the calm. It's anyway.
Silent Howl.
Yes, they could be kidfolk too, but that doesn't change that story.
Mm-hmm.
You need the total depth of the lyrics. And what I mean by that is the question becomes: are they mentioning shit or are they going, "My cairn's on 53rd Main, fog's the totem, go left, right, and left to get through the defenses." Yeah, if that's going on, obviously you have to kill these people. But if the if the songs are like
Spreading proper information.
right or love for Gaia or respect for Gaia or wolves are badass.
Or this is where Pentex moves from A to B. Like they're spreading information that way.
Well, see, that's another way you can do it, where they're a valuable tool in getting the word out to the nation.
Like how Bone Nars do their
Right. And if
What's it
you're
called?
doing
That one.
that, but again, one at a time. You
Sorry. I'm just excited.
Well, now I forgot where I was going with the other one. So fine, going back to yours. Jesus. At that point, that's a great way, to spread information. So they're going to need protection because shockingly, Pentex is not stupid and is going to see through those codes pretty fucking quick.
Mm-hmm.
So, maybe at that point, that's a story about how that pack hooks up with this band and is their muscle going on the road with them to make sure they're not taken the fuck out. And eventually they're taken the fuck out because this is the world of darkness. But there's that. You also go, you mentioned, Danny, this is the worm route, and where the message might even be on point or might be innocuous and just using some of the terminology because, hey, wolves are cool. You like metal? Imagery of like wolves slaughtering their prey? That'll be fine. That'll do it.
That works.
That makes
quite
the album.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they're doing it like
But
to lure in packs.
fuck packs, the amps are Bane possessed.
Oh, shit.
I mean, that's where I was already going
Or
with
fetished, or
Yeah,
however you
something.
want to. Yeah, that the music itself is attracting Banes or leading to possession because of it. And then you're in a situation where what do we do about this band? Because they're starting to get traction and they're getting attention.
Mhm.
And they're going to have to figure out a way to take them down without being in the paper tomorrow.
It's a mobile way of making people dance the spiral.
Follow the worm by listening to the music. The bigger they get, the bigger the influence gets.
Right. No, wow, that's a good one. I like that one. I mean, I liked how he put in there that there's too many specifics in the lyrics for it to be ignored.
Right. Like it can't be a coincidence.
Right.
Sure. But it's what direction is that going with it?
Mm-hmm.
Because again, let's look at Slipknot.
Oh, yeah, they have a song called Bonars Suck.
Versus like there are songs on that album
Mhm.
that are innocuous enough
Right.
that if you don't know anything about Werewolf
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
or a little, it's like, oh, did he say clave? That's weird. He said clave. I wonder if.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next track they lead with Bone Gnarrs Suck. They
Oh, yeah.
live their lives in a garbage dump. And no, they're talking about Werewolf. There's nothing else they could
Well, those
possibly
guys
be
play
talking
werewolves,
about.
so yeah.
Yeah. So that the difference there is all the difference is what I'm saying.
Bonars Suck. Bonars Suck. Sorry.
Yeah, that was Slipknot's demo. Mate, kill, feed, repeat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this
It's a
was
great
I think
song.
that's the order. But like that whole album is about Werewolf.
Love that
awesome.
album.
Yeah. All right. Then next, I'm going to apologize right off the bat. A fellow Cairn has asked for help. Many members have fallen sick to this mysterious disease. You get there, you find info that all the sick just happen to be some of the Bane tenders.
Who wrote this?
Yeah.
That was
where
me.
they-
This was me.
It's copyrighted material. This is what he gets for looking at your maps.
I know, right? Well, Danny, what I would do is I would write a chronicle called Shadows and Tall Trees and run it for you assholes like 3 years ago. That's what I'd do.
I hope that was a joke.
Absolutely
Okay,
a
good.
joke.
Okay.
I was like, are we really going to air that?
Why wouldn't we?
No, air it as in go in depth with it.
No, I was
Considering
not
our
expecting
backers
that.
are going to get this.
Certainly not. No, that'll. So when you sign up to a gold tier membership and you'll get the postmortems and eventually we'll get around to Shadows and Tall Trees.
Probably next year? No, the year,
Oh, you're after.
year after next, yeah.
No. You're
Oh.
fired.
Or those might get streamlined depending, you
No,
never
who
know.
knows? But no, Danny, you played in that chronicle, so you know.
You know how
exactly.
that goes. Sorry, listeners, we can't delve that one.
No, that's.
It's a
yeah,
good story seed, though,
thank
as you can
It's
tell.
pretty complicated too.
It is very complicated. Took a whole chronicle to
Very-
figure out.
He's
was
very
just-
proud of himself.
I was just waiting for your reaction.
Oh, his reaction was instant. Even me, I looked at you. I'm like, is he even going to finish the sentence?
He had a smile on his face the entire time, though. But that smile kind of started, like, getting crooked after a while.
When do I get to punch you?
Yeah, you fucking kidding me with this?
That was for you.
I think that was for you.
Guy's got jokes
He
for
does.
himself.
Yeah, right.
Notice we didn't laugh.
Oh, shit.
And Danny's crying. Over there.
Yeah, it was
We're just like, you done? You proud of yourself?
leech infestation. You fight your way up to take out the so-called leaders and get stopped by your friends or even just a fellow pack. What do they say to convince you to stop all the bloodshed? Or will you continue the bloodshed?
So this is friends, very close friends,
Mm-hmm.
telling you to not kill leeches?
Yeah.
They better have a good reasoning.
Well, and I think that's what they're looking. I'm assuming you're
that's-
looking for what it would be the reason,
Mm-hmm.
because otherwise, again, that's
They're leeches, you're going to kill them. But like,
Yeah, they're worm. I mean,
they're worm in nature, right? But
I can't think of a way to convince another pack on why to save them right now.
Well, I think the problem becomes, and maybe this isn't how I'm visualizing this, is that you've got the pack and they're going through the skyscraper downtown or whatever, and they're taking out they're taking out motherfuckers left and right. Here goes the security. Here's fucking Dracula Jr. Here's Fangington. Here's Coach Ferratu. You're taking motherfuckers out. And you get to that penthouse or whatever where like the quote final bosses are, or, and then like fucking
The Seneschal.
Seneschal, the fucking prince, whatever.
Yeah.
They're all there hanging out in like a blood-filled hot tub, and they're counting things because that's what vampires like to do.
yes.
And
A 1, a 2.
right. And then fucking Sekhmet pops out as you get up the elevator. He goes, "Hi, kids! No one fight these guys." And here's
That's hard
why.
to believe.
Right. But you know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of how I'm visualizing it. And I'm already going, "You fucking hack, get out of my house."
Spin it.
And I guess
But-
it's
but
my
say-
fault for visualizing it
Right,
that way.
and
but-
that's the problem I'm having too. So that's why I'm trying
So
to
you're seeing
dial
it the
that.
same
Yes,
way.
I'm seeing it the same way,
Thank
but
you.
I'm trying to
Okay.
dial that back to
So-
actually come up with something
Yeah,
logical.
spin it.
So maybe and I'm going to,
These are your
Use familiar
vampire.
names.
These are your vampires that are in to get into the whole group in the city.
and that's kind of where I was thinking about that. We take this back to the plan, to where you're at the planning stages, or maybe you're at smaller scale at a warehouse,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you're cleaning out this group of fucking leeches because take that, Draculus. And Dooley steps in. Like you're chasing this guy down and you get a fucking bullet in the back of the kneecap. You fall over, you turn around and it's Dooley. He goes, we got to have a fucking talk here.
That one's got to live.
Exactly. We got to let a couple of these go because they're in the middle of a plot dealing with, the politics of the city and ultimately trying to use these leeches to lead them to hidden artifact or hidden weapons cache or whatever, and so this becomes a story about a little cat and mouse to where you're being let loose in the city, right, to take out these leeches, but select groups of leeches. And again, if we're using from our NPCs, you're working at this point, you're working under Jude. Jude's going, okay, we'll hit these guys, and these guys, but these three groups have to get away. We get it on good authority that, General Fangington is going to hit, the orphanage tonight and make a bunch of baby bitch vampires. You have to let that happen. He's going to kill like 12 kids, but you're just going to have to let that happen. You can go after these three, but we need this guy alive. In the meantime, let's say you have a Silver Fang or a Child of Gaia or a Get a Fenris who's running this main sept in that fucking city or the area. You go, no, we are at war with these vampires.
Yeah, and they're going to lose their shit because they're losing 12 humans.
Right. And, there's this psycho who's going to kill 12 babies. Go get him. In the meantime, you've got, your secondary force. You're, again, probably, in this case, Jude going, no. This is the guy. If you take this guy out,
It
if you
foils the rest of
spook
the
him,
plan.
it fucks everything up. And then you have a series of situations like that all the way through until you get to the denouement. However, that would break down. And how that would break down would really depend on which side of this particular shadow war, if you will, the players are on.
In which, if the players make that wrong call,
Right. Exactly.
they could really derail what you wrote, but make sure you write that out too.
Exactly. Yeah, at that point, you factor in both ways.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's where my heart is.
I like where you took it.
I couldn't make it any better. I mean, that's kind of where I was thinking. The only way to go with that is these ones need to live so we can get to the higher, so we can get to the Seneschal, so we can get to the Prince, so we can influence the higher ups in this.
Yeah, we can
Echelon
do the
of
thing we need
leeches.
to do. Yeah.
It's like almost like an undercover situation or like
Well, it kind of is, but then it's why you have that second factor in the city. The
Mhm.
ones that are just trying to clean the city and get the vampires gone. Simple werewolf vampire action, rock 'em, sock 'em. Let's do it around 12. Versus that other side that says, well, there's a larger game to be played here, and there are victories beyond cutting the other guy's head off, and there's a lot of ways to lose this game too.
so. Be willing to make the sacrifice play.
Right. And then
let that 12 children go.
Like, yeah, that's a
For
tough
the-
pill
yeah.
to swallow. But again, maybe by letting that happen, that leads, Fangington to,
General Fangington, man, he's got to live.
he does. Why? Because he knows where the MacGuffin is. And yeah, the MacGuffin is not related to winning the Rock'em Sock'em City Werewolf Vampire War, but it's going to be really helpful for a lot of shit
later down the road.
later down the road.
Prince Fangington's going to lead you to the count, so you got to let him go.
Right?
There we go. All right. You've received an extraordinary gift or fetish at your latest Umbral quest. This thing could even possibly turn the tides in this war upon us. You come home ready to tell your tale of victory and even share the wonders of the grand prize, but nobody recognizes you when you get home.
What kind of fetish is this?
And it's-
Something
it's
that changes your appearance.
possibly. I mean, I like that idea. I think it's pretty cool. I like Umbral quests are kind of a big deal. I just think of I know there's a gift I want to get, but I know I'm going for an Umbral quest for it. What if that gift is too good to be true kind of thing?
I mean, obviously it's not specifying, but is this the people in that sept are the same people, or did you just time travel?
This is where I don't like this. Like, I kind of reject the one. These are two separate stories.
Well, lay it out then.
You getting gifted or discovering, either way.
Mm-hmm.
Some fetish that it could change the tide of the war. That's such a fucking big concept. So number one, I think that story is about how does this thing work / what is the price? The price of you look different is a little garbo. I mean, that's like, here's $5. I need a Rolls Royce.
Mm.
So no one remembers that you did it. Well, small price to fucking pay. Get over yourself. Not an issue. However, coming back from an Umbral quest to your home sept and have you be foreign to them or even them be foreign to you, that's also a story.
I think the latter of those two is a bigger deal and probably a better story.
Well, it depends on how but again, those are two separate stories. You put those together and those should be two unrelated things. Because if the crux of this ultimate
Mhm.
fetish is that you just look different,
There's no crux. I mean,
right? That's just, get over it.
Yeah.
The end.
Because you're going to win the war. I mean,
Right. That's worth you having to introduce yourself again. Too fucking bad.
I guess I'll just deal with it. We win.
Right. Exactly.
I
guess I'll just be known as the guy who single-handedly won the apocalypse, as opposed to the guy who single-handedly won the apocalypse and also punched out David the other day.
Fuck you, Dave.
You can soak it. I promise. But the idea of discovering this fetish, and it's supposed to be this huge deal, and let's assume that it is. Let's assume that it's legit and not just bullshit with a game of telephone attached to it for a couple thousand years.
Which
Easily could be.
very easily can still be the problem.
Right. But let's say it's legit. But in order to, let's say, generate the power necessary, the Gnostic energy necessary to power this fetish would sap a couple cairns.
oh, I'd be larger than that.
Well, just for an instance. You know what I mean?
I mean, as soon as you say something like that, I was thinking, well, we lose like 4 tribes.
Ultimately, probably.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, there's a lot of logistics to what is this fetish or what does it do?
Right,
Fucking
right.
whatever. But the point is, if it's the gun, to fire the gun once is going to cost the city. Well, how many times do we need to fire it? What's the, at that
what's
point,
the cost? Right.
right, that becomes a thing. And then the memory thing, I mean, that could be time travel. That could be dimension hopping. You thought you came home. You're in an Umbral pocket realm. How do you get out?
Well, because if you're finding this so-called legendary fetish, you were in the deep Umbra. You were probably in the abyss. I mean,
it could be the abyss.
so
Could be somewhere.
you could be popping out anywhere.
Right. And maybe where what makes me think of right now is I'm thinking, I thought 2 things actually, but the first thing, Sliders. I don't know if you remember this show. This,
It's vaguely familiar.
is this show, with the cast characters going through alternate realities, which good show for the first 2 years.
Okay.
Jerry O'Connell, John Rhys Davies, it was a good fucking show. Not the point. But, it reminded me of a particular episode where they made it home. I mean, that was the deal, is they were going through the worlds trying to get home. And they get home. And they're celebrities now because they're the Sliders are the ones who discovered portals to alternate worlds. And they went on this big trip and they came back and, oh my God, you guys are heroes. And your main character's like, I don't think we're home. And they're like, dude, you're nuts. You can't handle the fact that you're back in your normal life. Like, sorry. He's like, yeah, but I don't.
Something stuff
and
goes
it's
off.
not.
Right. Yeah, right. Exactly. It was. He's like, you know, like I was watching this show the other day and it was a rerun, but that's not how I remember it ending. And they're like, well, you forgot a TV show once, you fucking idiot. But no, it was. They weren't home.
They were in an alternate reality.
Yes. And then there was like a big telling thing. I think like the Golden Gate Bridge was blue.
Ooh. Was it still called the Golden Gate, though?
I don't remember. I mean,
I know, I'm just messing with
yeah,
you.
but I mean, like there it
blue
was.
bridge.
It was the big, you know, here's that big thing that goes, oh no, well, clearly, no, you were right. You're not home.
Clearly, you're just suffering from a bunch of Mandela effects.
But you could play it that way.
Right.
You know, and then ultimately have the shoe drop that, yeah, no, you're not home. How do you get there? Do you get there?
I say maybe it's worth staying if it's not that much different.
And then, but you make that argument.
This becomes a big thing.
Yeah.
Wow. I like that.
So that's, well, I guess at that point, that's the first half of it, right?
Well,
Or
it's kinda-
that'd be the second half.
It's kind of both.
I mean, at that point, you could combine them to do either one, yeah, or both.
But I mean, we already nailed that big of a fetish. You have to have huge consequences to use it.
Right. If it works.
If it works, yes.
Huh.
But then again, that becomes a chronicle of figuring out how the hell does this thing work and is it worth it?
Exactly.
Wait, what if you went through all those sacrifices to get it to work and it still doesn't?
Or, you know, yeah, you sacrifice the whole cairn to get it to, quote, fire,
Mhm.
for lack of a, and it takes out a psychomancy.
And that's it.
Right. Like you just lost a cairn to take out a psychomancy. Good job.
Explain that one away.
Right?
There's some consequences there.
That's what I'm thinking. There's some major consequences, and how do you deal with that?
You run and hide.
I thought it would have worked,
You had to try.
right? Yeah, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
like, it doesn't make that okay.
that's what I was thinking. Like, oh man, the sacrifices you'd have to make for something like that to work, and then it still not be good. That's a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this one's from Ghostpaw. Pack finds a fetish that can rewrite the space around it. Examples like the forest starts becoming buildings around you,
Okay.
Fetish that can manipulate space-time.
or just rewrite reality.
So it's like an Etch-a-Sketch with a Nexus crawler in it.
Yeah. I mean, this is a very wild and tuned. At that point, it had to be Wild and Weaver. It needs the energies to create, and then it needs Weavers to give it form.
No, I'm really thinking an Etch-a-Sketch with a Nexus crawler in it.
I mean, that works. That actually really does work now that I think about
Like
it.
someone bound a Nexus crawler into an Etch-a-Sketch.
This is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Who would be willing to use that?
Who'd be willing to try that?
Yeah, it's
No,
my
exactly.
point,
This
yeah.
is everything I just said is nuts. But
But
I mean, fuck it.
it's possible. But what could you tell a Nexus crawler to convince it to live in an Etch-a-Sketch?
oh, you force it in there.
Yeah, you'd have to force it.
That's
But then
force.
how
That's
do
a-
you get
That's a binding
the
situation.
powers you want? I mean, that's just straight happenstance.
No, I mean, at that point, you've bound it in there. You've told it what you've forced it to. I mean, yes. Well, how do you get it to? It's a logistics thing that I can't answer.
Things never work the way you want them. That's why I'm like,
Right, but like, I mean,
That could be the story too, but
an Etch-a-Sketch with an Nexus. That's literally perfect.
I think that becomes a monkey's paw situation. This is a classic monkey paw story.
I don't know what you mean by that.
Statistically, you know that story of the cursed object. It's almost always the monkey's paw, where you make a wish, and the finger, like Simpsons did it 3 times. It's a fucking, you get your wish, but you get your wish wrong.
I didn't know that's what it was labeled as.
Well,
yeah, I mean, it could be something totally different, but yeah,
it's almost always a monkey's paw.
I just
Like,
didn't know that
oh,
was the terminology for that. I get it.
Yeah,
But
this thing can grant wishes. Oh, I want $1 million. And they bring you $1 million, but your son died and it was his insurance money. That kind of thing.
or
Yeah,
like like it came from like a drug cartel, and like they know you stole it.
Something, anything
Yeah.
along those lines where, there's a catch-22 on whatever your quote-unquote wish is.
I know.
well, I could see that then. You're making these trees turn into buildings, but you're losing forest elsewhere or something. Or Pentex is expanding due to it. That Endron building just popped up over there next to that sept because of it.
It's crazy. But really feasibly, you do that the other way around, right? Is you have this fetish and you go, well, hey, let's turn this fucking business park into an actual. And then they go, well, what the fuck happened to our fucking corporate office? I guess we'll have to move it. Let's use this plot of land, which happens to be where your cairn is.
Oh,
It'd have to be something like that.
Maybe that's what happened in Earthblood.
Oh, boy.
they had an Etch-a-Sketch with a Nexus crawler in it.
No,
That's giving Earthblood too much credit.
that is way too much credit. They don't know what Nexus crawlers are over there.
We don't know what Nexus crawler is. Could be anything.
Great.
Apparently they didn't know what HISPO was either, but that's besides the point.
Maybe they should have listened to the greatest podcast.
Sweet. Maybe some other people should take those. It's fine. It's fine. So
This seems very Glasswalker-y, though. The fetish.
what could be, and I mean, for modern days, maybe not next Etch-a-Sketch, but it's.
I know. It's a joke.
Jokes aside, yeah.
But you can obviously go with way technology advances. It's not an Etch-a-Sketch. It's a freaking tablet. I mean,
yeah,
come on.
obviously. And let's be clear on this. The group finds a fetish that ... Glasswalkers are manufacturing these things.
That's where I would go to.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not, oops, I found this thing, because that's the stories. You found this thing. No. Maybe you discovered it, but now through discovering it, you have found that, yes, probably the Glasswalkers.
Either that or Pentex.
Sure.
Pentex wants it to make their buildings come up faster. They don't even have to expend any of their money to build this. They can just reality warp it to what they need.
And, once you start there, what else can you do with it? But I mean, that's the point, though, is the story isn't, hey, look, we found a thing, because that's not a story. That's a sentence fragment.
True.
What the story is that in finding this thing, you have learned, A, that it's dangerous, and B, that where it comes from isn't some ancient fucking battlefield. It's something that's modern. It's being created, being tested, being perfected. And I like that idea where it's worm related instead.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
Pentex
exclusively.
They just happen to leave that somewhere for you to find it. You're the test pig.
Or the test pigs were killed.
Oh.
They were doing their thing, and you run afoul of the players by random happenstance. And they weren't supposed to get their hands on, quote, the prototype.
Mm-hmm.
But now the Gaians have the prototype. Well, hopefully they can't figure out what it does. And ideally, there you go. Your pack figures out what it does, traces it back, and stops them from making the Mark II or the Mark III or the Mark IV or whatever of this dangerous fucking fetish.
But now you have all
that can
types of Pentex on your ass.
Exactly.
I almost see it, a little bit of both of those, where it was Glasswalker. It was a Glasswalker pack that fell to the worm, and whatever they were working on has now converted it over to what Pentex needs.
I mean, sure, but that's extra semantics.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be fine. And maybe that factors in because maybe one of that said former Glasswalker pack knows about your sept or knows one of those players and so can link it back to. And then there's that extra danger of, well, this guy knows the layout of our home.
Mm.
And, he knows that we're involved in this or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe you can do that too. But
that would suck.
Just struggling to see if a Glasswalker, just straight up Glasswalker, doing this. There has to be some type of malintent because they're still Gaia is Gaia. You still want to protect the lands.
Maybe it was the goal here was to infuse the wild with the Weaver, find a way to create modern day shit, but still harness wild energies within it or something.
Mm.
It's kind of where I was thinking too, but that's where I was
starting with it because I was starting. It had to be wild and Weaver infused.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. At that point, and that's why I was thinking it was a Glasswalker pack that had fell to the worm and now are spirals.
See, and that's a way to go. I would go. I like Tom's idea about going straight to Pentex because spirals who are working within Pentex or even people within Pentex who understand how this shit works.
Mm-hmm.
All right, like your Mike Dragon's Wrath, for example, might back up this initiative.
I'm sure he would.
Mass produce fetishes. What can we get away with? What can we make happen? What are the spirals going to fucking do with this? What do they care?
Yeah, I see your point.
Yeah, it's really powerful, but what do they care? They're already winning. Fuck it.
They're already winning.
They don't need a super weapon because their agenda, like arguably, they're
In their case, 31.
yeah, like there's a massive philosophy within the Black Spiral Dancers that they already won. So who gives a shit? What's the point of this? Whatever.
No,
It's stupid.
It's
But-
more Pentex because they're still trying to expand and gain
Right.
more hands on everything.
Yeah,
So
they have an agenda that they have not met yet.
don't get me wrong, Spirals will still be involved. The Spirals
Oh,
that
I'm
are
sure,
involved
yeah.
with Pentex, yes.
Right, but why write a middleman?
Why does Zizek need to deal with this?
Yeah, Zizek does not give a shit.
No.
Mike Dragon's Wrath, however, probably is funding the project.
Yep.
So go that way.
I like that spin on it. I thought it was pretty good.
We got time for one more?
But yeah, we can get one more in here. This one was a special one.
Aren't they all special?
I mean, kind of.
They're all special to us.
They're all special.
Tom and I think everyone that listens is special and worth just so much. We value and respect the hell out of them, don't we, Tom?
Of course.
It's your problem, Danny.
Who said I didn't? You. That's who.
No, nobody said anything.
No, I mean, you may have implied something, but no one. You said that
we're
that
giving
one is special. We
we're-
just think everyone.
we're trying to riff and give him time to pull up this question.
I know.
And he's just now I'm
okay.
throwing him under the bus because of it.
All right. So this one's a little bit specific, but I thought this was good enough to keep. Yeah, thanks a lot. This one's from our buddy Glasswalker78. Good old GW. Ready? Black Dog Gaming is releasing a 6th edition of Lycanthrope, The Rapture, and are going on a media offensive, and have been sending free copies to various media outlets and fan podcasts, including the Angry at the Internet podcast, hosted by Butler, Donnie, and Tim. I can see your face already. Included with the package is a bag of merch, like a bottle of Cold Aid energy drinks. Face, this is so good.
Just finish it.
You should read the fucking thing.
The previously skeptical show suddenly changes its tune and sings the praises of the new edition, helping sales of the product skyrocket. Around this time, the number of Bane infestations skyrockets, and the murder-suicide rate triples, especially for lycanthrope players.
There's your plot line. There's nothing to really feed off of that. That angry across the internet, man. I feel bad for those guys.
Angry at the Internet,
Oh, angry at the internet.
hosted by Butler, Donnie, and Tim.
I think it's funny.
Butler. That's Butler. All right.
You don't know about how seething rage I have with the name of Tim, so you'll find out at the end of the show.
Oh, sweet.
Don't worry, that's a very low blow for me. He doesn't know, but
No,
Yeah, how is he supposed to know?
Yeah,
he
he doesn't know
doesn't,
that.
but it isn't. It is.
I'm a servant now. All right. Jolly good, sir.
Dense. It's creative. I like it.
Oh. No, I was mad when I heard Black Dog Gaming. I was already mad from that moment. Yeah, you know how I feel about Black Dog.
Yes, I do.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I have a feeling old GW here had a pretty good idea how you were going to react to this already.
Fucking Black Dog shit. All right.
It's a way to put
Well played.
it's a way to put us into the meta.
Oh,
So
pass.
is Black Dog part of Pentex? I mean,
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for listening to the podcast.
bro, that was like 65
roasted.
episodes ago.
It might
All
have
right.
been.
I looked through it. It's like 40 something.
So you already knew.
No, I just looked through and when I was looking for one of the podcasts to listen to, I happened across the Big P and it's in the 40s. I laughed because I was like, oh, that's around the 40s. Okay. And now, yes, now I know it's 60 something episodes ago. Sorry, I haven't listened to it in a year. So Black Dog Gaming is part of Pentex. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's obviously it's a satirical look at White Wolf.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Right.
Okay.
And that's my irritate. It's like, because it's been in every single fucking.
It's their jab at themselves.
Right. And then, like, there it was in Worm 20 also, when White Wolf's not around anymore.
Oh,
And I'm
so
like,
they even
this
left
is-
it in there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And it's like, so this is what we're spending our page count on, and not like Otali's. We get the joke. We got the joke at first edition, and second,
And
and revised.
And revised.
Fucking
Okay.
nowhere do they, you know?
and 20th. and probably
What
gonna
is
be
what
fit.
is this drink? Is it Brondo?
Brondo?
You know what Brondo is. He doesn't.
I think, look,
It has what plants crave. What did he call it, though?
Cold Aid.
Cold Aid.
Cold Aid. All right.
It's the electrolytes, baby.
It has what plants crave.
I mean, boom roasted. All right. First of all, thanks.
It was a good roast. Come on.
No.
That was good.
No, it was.
He sent it to me because, again, I asked and he sent one in. And
Like I'm overacting, but yeah.
We're all
and
overacting
I
on
said,
this.
like, thanks for sending them in. But yeah, a lot of these are, again, you guys are sending in the stories, so I got to condense it. And I told him that, like, please don't be offended, but I'm going to condense it down a little bit so we can make it into the thing. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, how do I do this? And I just kept reading it. I'm like, this is too damn funny. And I know Porter's reaction that I can't not say the entire thing.
No, well,
But if you
here's-
want to spin it so we can, go for it.
Well, I mean, and here's the thing. Okay. This is gonna be we're gonna rip the Band-Aid off, we're gonna get real on this. Okay. With that scenario,
Mm-hmm.
no one's gonna notice.
Hmm.
Welcome to the world of darkness. This is such a niche hobby. You know, the Black Dog games
Mm-hmm.
are such a niche of the niche that no one's going to notice the uptake in suicides and no one's going to care. No one's going to put it together.
It's true.
That's just something that's going to happen.
Hmm.
And the
The
hosts
Garu werewolf wouldn't catch.
wouldn't catch it, wouldn't notice, wouldn't care, unless by some random happenstance, somebody's kinfolk kid happened to be one of the victims. And even then, they're not going to put it together.
Mm-mm. Not unless it's like a bunch
Right.
of
It would have
kinfolk
to
are
be-
starting to fall.
And the odds of having a bunch of kinfolk who are together who also happen to play Black Dog games.
Mm-hmm. And
That
listen
shit ain't
to
gonna
the
happen. Right.
Yeah, and listen
And
to
listen
the
to this
Angry
podcast.
at the Internet podcast.
Right.
Which I hope they are.
And those dicks are those guys are from Ori, obviously.
Oh, have to
Oh,
be.
you Butler, Donnie, and Tim.
Yeah. You know, Butler probably ends up becoming a gorehound. You know, they find Donnie, I don't know, in like a phone booth with a bunch of puppies or something, and he's in various states of undress.
What the hell?
I mean, he's got a point.
Look, I said puppies and not children.
You're right. Thank you.
So I was gonna go with kids, you know, and shit, Tim.
He's just shitty.
I mean, you know,
He's just an asshole.
He's really just an asshole who just enjoys corrupting.
yeah, they probably find him in his day job working a food truck, but like a bunch of hobos in the freezer.
Oh, for sure. He's working for O'Talley's.
There you go. Yeah, something like that. The point is they're from Ori. They're all fucked. Fucking sellouts.
Once they got on board with that lycanthrope,
Right.
they turned from Maury right there.
It's the new edition, though, too.
Well, yeah, well, you know, they're gonna sell out for free shit.
Come on, like we wouldn't sell out for free shit.
Ooh,
No, you're
what-
right. I think
Talking about
no, we
we.
wouldn't.
What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
we're talking about the fucking Black Dog people. This angry internet, these Butler men, Butler and the Pips, whatever they're called.
That's their pack name.
Not right.
Butler.
Again,
You know, his fucking servants.
Butler has his own servants.
Yeah, well, you just said Donnie and Tim.
Yeah.
Donnie and Marie. Oh, God.
That's the name of the puppy they found around. Anyway,
Oh, anyway.
Oh my God.
Well, if you guys enjoyed what you heard today,
Jesus Christ.
I believe that was our last question.
That was it. I was saving that one for last.
That's been a show.
Yeah, it
It's
was
been
the
a while
last.
since we've done this.
It was fun. Definitely, guys, send in more of those. We enjoy doing these. We like spitballing, just coming up with ideas. And obviously don't make it
Yeah,
where
don't
it's the
give us
full
the
story. Give us tidbits, and then
Yeah.
we'll...
Something we can take and then turn into a story.
Yeah, those
but-
were fun. There was a few of those that was really fun. Like I loved that missing... Everyone's missing from the sept.
Yeah.
That was my favorite out of all of them.
Yeah, it was really good.
That one was perfect. You could go multiple ways with that.
And that was Drake.
That was Drake. Drake, good job on that one. That you could take that so many ways, and you could have so much mystery involved in that. You could have that span a couple chronicles. That's a fun one.
Good time here.
Yeah.
Good time as usual.
You know where to reach us: rageacrosstheinternet.com.
.com.
Daka.
Hit us up on our forums. Get the link to that Discord.
Yeah, join us on that Discord. You got a question or something, you can send an email.
You want to hit up our store? There's also that link in the Discord to get 10% off your first purchase.
Good call. And hey, we've got you got the Twitter, you got the email, you got the Facebook.
Many, many ways to reach us.
Yep. That's that. In the meantime, on behalf of everyone here at Scratch Wolf Studio, Tommy Dixon, Daniel Tyson, and myself, we want to say thank you for listening. Thank you for your support. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Keep your claws sharp and your head in the swivel. We'll see you. Rock'em sock'em. Let's do it around 12.